I grew up 8 minutes away from BYU, son of loving parents, grew up in a sports family. My dad was a Major League All-Star. His dad was a Cy Young Award winner and World Series champion. As I got older, the weight and the pressure felt a little more because I would wake up in the morning and I would walk out and see all this kind of family history stuff and who we are.
I know growing up, when everyone on your team, all the dads of the players, everyone knows who your grandpa is, who your uncle is. For Adam, who your dad is, that's a lot to live up to.
Subsequently, my uncles, my dad, and myself, and my cousins feel similar pressure of we need to be the very best in order to be fulfilled, which it's not fair because my grandfather never meant that for us.
I was, I think, pretty much aware that he doubted how good he could be. I remember the first day of walk-on tryouts, he considered himself a walk-on.
I kind of felt the expectation that I should be really, really good because my dad was really, really good. And I grew up around the game. I practiced like crazy. So you had that pressure, but then literal incapabilities to impact the baseball hard, to throw the baseball hard. I couldn't do it. When the ball wasn't coming off of my bat the same way that it was coming off of others, it kind of reinforced my belief of myself of, man, I'm not really good, even though I should be good because I was a law.
At times, people questioned why would I recruit him to go to BYU to play. I felt like with a little bit of time, with weight training, he had the makings of becoming one of the best players.
After my freshman year at BYU, I chose to serve a mission and was called to the Zimbabwe Harare mission. I grew up as a human being. I learned about the gospel of Jesus Christ. I learned how to live on my own. And then I grew into my body physically, which set me up for success in several aspects of life when I came home.
I know that he proved himself. He became an all-conference player and was drafted to play in a major league affiliate. Not everybody is able to do that, and certainly not just coaches' kids. If he's on the team just because he's a coach's kid, then I made a mistake. But I knew what he could develop into.
So it was 2019. I was with the Seattle Mariners. I was actually promised that I was gonna be with either AA or AAA for the entire season. I showed up to the ballpark the day we were supposed to leave on our first road trip to play the Reno Aces to open up the season. I had bought a new suit coat in preparation for the flight and also for preparation when I got the call to go to the major leagues so I could look sharp. The manager called me into the office. When that happens in AAA, you're either going up to the major leagues, you're being promoted to the major leagues, or you're being released. And given the information from the director of player development, there was no way I was going home because I had been told that I would have a job for the whole year. So when the manager told me, Adam, I need to meet with you in the office, my mind immediately went to, holy cow, I'm getting called up to the major leagues.
I saw his name pop up on my phone and I was like, oh, this is weird. He usually doesn't call at this time. He should be practicing. So I hurried and walked out and I answered it and he was just crying on the phone and I was really concerned. I was like, oh my gosh, like what just happened? And then he had said that the manager from the team called him in and released him.
You spend 7 years of your life really giving it your all, coupled with the family pressure. And I know I talk about it, that it doesn't matter, that I broke through and I could play from my own, but it was still there. And I knew my dad and grandpa, they would love for that to happen. We all would have loved for it to happen, and now I have to make like the opposite phone call. I'm coming home.
We spoke that day. What are you going to do to control what you can control? And are you going to have a champion mentality or are you going to have a victim mentality on this? You get to decide your destiny. You get to decide your timeline and what your future looks like when you want to stop playing baseball.
The team that had drafted me, the Los Angeles Dodgers, they called me and he goes, "We know you spent your mission in Africa. We want to open up an academy in Africa. Would you be willing to go over and help start it up?" Had I chosen not to serve a mission, I wouldn't be here today. I can't think of one person who had spent 2 years of their life in Africa who could go back and do that, who had played professionally. I get that opportunity. I acquire skills as a coach in order to come back home to BYU. God's certainly in the details.
You know, you give somebody advice, hopeful that they would take it, hopeful that it would sink into them. And I was so pleased to begin to see the direction that he'd taken with his life, that he wanted to get into performance psychology, that he wanted to really help others on this path, things that he had struggled with, and in order to carve his future and make his mark in helping others.
He has so much knowledge about the game. He played the game for so long, but he also offers so much knowledge from the mental side. He's offered, the whole team, you can meet with him one-on-one, once a week, twice a week, however often you need. I've never had someone I've been able to talk to every week about anything in my life. It's weird having a coach be almost like, a friend, a best friend, someone that you just can tell about anything. And he's always there for you.
A lot of people would be be cocky about all the stuff that they have achieved and underlook and trying to override. He's not that. Adam is one of the greatest listeners I know. Coming from somebody who talks too much like me, he listens a lot. Not only does he listen a lot, but he likes to make sure that all your ideas are taken in.
He assists people being able to deal with the failure of baseball and not just dwell on it, recognizing that it's not the result, it's the process that you go through, and always remembering that the process is more important than the result.
I'm incredibly proud of the family that I come from, the things that Grandpa, my dad, and even myself have done in baseball. I'm fortunate for the experiences that I've had, but there's more to life than baseball. And part of fulfilling a dynasty is to do good in the lives of others, on and off the field. So when you ask me, what legacy do I want to leave? I want you to talk to Kason Bell or go to Isaac in 20 years and him say, "Adam helped me become a better person. He was fun to be around. He was energetic and positive. He helped me become the best version of myself." That would be sufficient for me.